Hey everybody, welcome to Doom Productions. Here we make videos about film and filmmaking, and we also make feature films here. We have a couple feature films that you can check out on our channel. They're all free, and you can watch them on the playlist that we have linked above. Yeah, check them out. We work really hard on them, and they're a lot of fun. And today, particularly, we wanted to talk about a part of our filmmaking journey that we haven't really discussed up to this point. And I think this is something that most filmmakers at some point have felt or will feel, and it's kind of an important thing to just go through or to know that it's coming in your experience, and that is wanting to quit filmmaking and wanting to walk away from it and just deciding, you know what, this is great or this is terrible, but it's just not for me. And we've both kind of gone through that in different ways from one another, but we just wanted to share kind of our experience with that and how that's played into who we are today.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to kind of jump in?
Well, I will say that I've definitely had those feelings and emotions about wanting to quit filmmaking, but it's always been very brief and never long sustained. I think the most I've entertained the notion, well, it's kind of been, as you know, when you make movies, you make no money at our level. You're not making money doing this stuff. And so for me, it's never been a single project that has made me like want to quit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's been kind of the in-between moments of like, okay, I'm loving doing this, I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm not making any money, and I got health insurance to pay for, I got bills to student loans, I got rent, I have all this stuff I have to pay for, and this is not paying the bills. So what I have to do is I have to work 2 jobs or another job full-time. And the idea of just being isolated from the film community and not really having a creative outlet and just being like, feeling like kind of a loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I was talking to someone, I think I was talking to Kyle Roy the other day. Hello, Kyle. And I was talking about how, you know, it's really hard to make it in any profession. However, when you want to be a filmmaker or an actor or a musician, you know, when we were kids, it was like, oh my gosh, they're grown-ups, they're adults and everything. But now we're getting to that age of, you know, like, oh, man, that actress in Midsommar is really good. Let's look up Florence Pugh. Oh no, she was born the same year I was. Now, don't I feel like garbage? Don't I feel terrible? So the times that I feel worse about wanting to quit, and it's like, gee, I'm already 26. I haven't made it by now. I guess I'll never make it. And having those feelings, and you know, on top of I have to pay bills, I have to make money, movies not making money, no one's seen my movies. Those kind of emotions, definitely, those times is when I felt like I've had to quit. I think the only time, before I'll let you speak.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I remember, the only time I felt like actually quitting filmmaking was when we did October.
Oh.
Do you remember the night?
What? Which night? Oh, was it the first night we decided to
go? The first night. So if you haven't seen our behind the scenes video on making our feature film October, go check it out.
It's great.
We shot it in 15 days, and the schedule was very, I guess, tight, really
shot
packed.
and edited in 15 days.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And so one of those nights I had scheduled to shoot in my living room, but The Bachelor was on. My sisters really wanted to watch The Bachelor, and having them out there, you know, that would put us way behind schedule, and it became a logistical nightmare to try to shoot around it. So we kind of realized that, geez, well, let's just take a break. Let's shoot at midnight, and we'll go late after The Bachelor's done. In that process, I was feeling like, again, you know, I'm not making any money doing this. Florence Pugh is already successful. I'm blaming her.
Dang it, Florence.
I know, or whoever, insert any young actor or actress. And I can't even, you know, there's a pride among no-budget filmmakers. We can shoot in our houses. We can shoot whenever we want. And in this moment, I was thinking, I can't even shoot in my house.
Yeah.
Because of my family. I can't even shoot whenever I want. I feel like I am at the lowest of the low point. And that lasted for an hour or so.
Yeah.
Then we started shooting, and it was fine.
Yeah.
We got over it.
Yeah.
So that's my long-winded answer to times when I've wanted to quit filmmaking.
Dang. Man, that just brought back a whole
A
load of
wave of-
emotions from October.
Yeah.
Because that changed the whole production schedule to pretty much all-nighters, minus a couple of days.
Yes. Yes.
What a memory, what a trip. No wonder that movie turned out the way it did.
I know.
It's a dream.
It is, literally.
Yeah. So my story of filmmaking or wanting to be a filmmaker started when I was pretty young, actually. My love of filmmaking came from Star Wars, because when you got the DVDs of episodes 2 and episode 3, they came with all the webisodes, which was the behind-the-scenes content for Star Wars. And those were completely transformative in how I saw movies. I always loved like watching them as a kid, but watching those gave me like this deep appreciation for filmmaking that came really naturally just out of watching all these things. And the first job I ever wanted was I wanted to make so specific. I wanted to make stunt lightsabers at Lucasfilm.
That's awesome.
Because they were talking about, I remember they were talking about the process of how they just figured out how they could make chrome-looking rubber lightsabers, and how like that was this huge, big step in making them look really realistic. And I was like, that's so cool. I want to have my own stunt lightsaber so I can do tricks and fall and not break my hip. So that was like the first filmmaking job I wanted. I wanted to make props. And then from there, I wanted to be an actor. And so I was doing like school musicals, and that was kind of like me trying to like find the baby steps, how I could do these things. And then that kind of stayed all the way through until, if you saw my React video from last week, where I showed my first feature film from short film from a decade ago, my Doctor Who parody called Medical Assistant, that I shot with my friend Cameron. That was probably the biggest thing I'd ever shot, pre-Caramel Shark Studios, pre-Doom Productions, pre-Jordan and I. And that was like this really cool thing. I was glad we made it, but I kind of knew it was bad even then. And so it was like, this is fun and goofy, and I enjoyed it. But at the same time, I was like, there's no way I will ever make money doing this.
Yeah.
There's no way this can be a job. How can filmmaking be a job? And so from there, I'd always had this interest in marine biology. And so I was like, you know what? Forget filmmaking, forget acting. I'm going to go study sharks. So I was dead set on that for years. Like, that was it. I was going to be a marine biologist. I was going to go study at the Oregon coast, and then I was going to try and move to Australia or something. And I was dead set on that until Jordan, in his reaction video, he asked me to be in this short film called Perfect Day. And we were just friends. And I was just going to be an extra in it. Like, I play a pretty small role. But it was like fun, and it kind of it sparked that interest again for me. And that got me to go just say yes to every project Jordan was doing. And then within like 2 projects of us like deciding we were going to make videos together, I had asked my dad to buy a camera for my birthday for me, and he somehow said yes, even though I was like baby steps into the hobby at that point. And that was just this really great opportunity to start making videos and making movies, and that went from a hobby to like a passion, and now it's the thing that I am striving back to do again, and it reignited that for me. And I have had multiple times in filmmaking, kind of how you were saying, where you totally want to quit. It sucks. It's terrible. I have a bad procrastination habit, which is not the thing you want to have when you're a filmmaker sometimes. But lo and behold, I'm sure a lot of filmmakers are probably good at procrastinating on their own projects. But so those are the times I feel the worst, and like I want to quit, where it's like, I can't even finish a movie. But the shooting and the making it and the collaboration is like definitely the stuff that like keeps me in it. And it's like, man, I can't wait to see the next project. I can't wait to see, like, when we made Wild Boys, it's like, this is like it. Even though it's like one of our smaller productions, like it's so much fun to shoot a movie with your friends. And I hope to never lose that quality. And I think that's the thing that is the most exciting for me when we make movies.
And I think that's evidence of, like, I guess that's the why. There's the why did you want to quit, and why didn't you quit? And that's the why to, that's the answer to why did you not quit? Because in all the times of struggling on a feature film, I mean, we've been there, you've been there, every filmmaker's been there on like difficult shoots when everything's going wrong, or you have scheduling problems, or something's just not clicking or whatever. Where filmmaking feels like a chore rather than something you want to do.
Logistics.
Logistics, scheduling, all those problems. I mean,
Oh man.
I think
Nothing made me want to quit more actually than Drive Mr. President on like the 4 different days where actors would drop out.
Yeah.
And it was like the 3rd time we were shooting that movie, and it was like the Hail Mary was like, fine, I'm gonna play one of the roles in the movie just so we can shoot this day. It was so like, oh, that was the worst.
but I mean,
Yeah.
throughout all that, if you come out through the other side and you look back at that horrible memories, you're gonna still look back fondly. I look back fondly all that night, that all-nighter that we pulled for October, because it was like, well, we took a break. Ethan ate an entire rotisserie chicken. That's the truth.
About the rotisserie chicken.
That's the truth. You ate an entire rotisserie chicken because we had a little lunch break or dinner break,
fueled.
and then we shot. And now I look back on that night fondly, even though in the moment I was miserable. And you have to keep that in mind when it comes to filmmaking and life in general. Bad times are going to come just like the good times.
Yeah.
And if you're able to stick with filmmaking, if filmmaking is a thing, like, it's this crazy jungle that you go into and come out through the other side. And you might have been chased by a lion and got bitten by a snake and scorpions, whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to go back into that jungle, you're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us to another point, which sounds less positive, but I mean to sound encouraging. Who should quit filmmaking? And I'm not saying like that's not a judgment of quality, but kind of personality. Like if filmmaking, because there's people who probably would have gone through what we've gone through on like October, Video Carnage, Bell Rings, Wild Boys. We had struggles with all those movies, and I could see certain people going through those struggles and being like, that was awful. That was the worst experience of my life. I am angry that I made the movie. The movie
I
was
went
not
broke
worth
over
it.
that.
The movie was not worth it.
Yeah.
Or even the experience, because sometimes you go through those experiences and the movie itself is not worth it. However, the experience was worth it. So I think if you, again, going back to that jungle metaphor, if you go through the jungle and you're like, you know what, the journey wasn't worth it, nor was my destination. I think that's when you know, I mean, for you personally, if filmmaking is not for you as like a career.
Yeah.
Or like a regular intense hobby, I guess.
Yeah. If you want to do it casually, then who cares?
There's nothing wrong with being kind of a more casual hobby filmmaker, even though I don't like to use that word, who just makes movies every now and then and isn't really religious about doing it every single day and every single week. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But I think there's a point when you have to kind of decide of, well, do I go full force in, or do I kind of, one foot in the pool, one foot in the sand, that kind of thing. I think it's good to be aware of where you want to be, because if you want to do it for a career, you kind of, it's all in or nothing, I think.
Yeah.
But again, there's nothing wrong with just kind of being more casual, not wanting to make it, because you could be a teacher, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, or you could have any other career and still do filmmaking on the side. YouTube especially makes the options so easy to do both and not stress about it. Yeah.
It would suck, if you were going through that, 20, 30 years ago, and where that option isn't there, and you're like, filmmaking is a crazy investment and commitment.
Yeah.
So we're in a lucky time where you can be both a person who's a professional in something completely different and still enjoy filmmaking. And
it's one of those things where, again, if you do have a full-time gig, if you have a profession and you have a Saturday of shoot and it goes horribly, I could see that being a thing of like, well, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
And again, that's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's some really hard parts to filmmaking that not everyone is built out for. But I think maybe then straight up quit. Just like pull back, maybe do a less ambitious project, do again, shoot another scene, try again. Yeah. I think we're big advocates of just not giving up. Yeah. Because in the end, you'll find that you're worth it. Because it's you're a filmmaker and you make movies. You don't make excuses, and you don't like sit around and you get all miserable. You got to create something. We live in a day and age where you get to create and make movies and share them with people online, and that's an awesome thing. And there's no better feeling of joy other than that, aside from maybe family and friends and all that. But
general happiness.
You can make movies with your friends and family, and that's even better than all of it. So, yeah,
great. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. This is just something we were just gonna sit down and chat about. So we figured why not let you all in on the conversation a bit? So if you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button for us. It really helps us out and we appreciate it. Leave a comment if you have something you want to say. Tell a story about when you were feeling bad about filmmaking or when you enjoyed filmmaking. We love to hear about it. We love to respond to comments. And lastly, of course, subscribe if you want more videos like this. We make feature films and we have more in the pipeline coming out not too long from now-ish, give or take. So be sure to be on the lookout for those. Follow us on the socials, all that stuff. You know where to find us. And until the next video, we'll see you later.